So, is your Wi-Fi constantly dropping out? Are you just tired of staring at that buffering wheel? Well, today, we're going to look at a technology that could end the internet traffic jam for good. Yeah, we're talking about Li-Fi and a future where your light bulbs, yes, your light bulbs, give you faster, more secure internet than you ever thought possible.
You know, our entire digital lives depend on these invisible radio waves, Wi-Fi, 5G, Bluetooth, but that invisible space is getting dangerously crowded. We are really heading for a massive digital traffic jam, and it's a problem engineers have a name for, the spectrum crunch.
Just think about it for a second. Every new device you buy, every 8K video you stream, every little smart home gadget, it's like another car getting on the wireless highway. And that highway only has so many lanes.
And look, spectrum crunch isn't some problem for the future, it's happening right now. It's the reason your connection just drops during peak hours, or why it slows to a crawl in a crowded cafe. We are simply running out of room in the radio frequency spectrum.
Okay, so in one corner, we have the reigning champion's most powerful evolution yet, Wi-Fi 7. And this isn't just another small step up, it's designed to be the absolute peak of what is even possible with radio waves.
So Wi-Fi 7 tackles all this congestion in three really clever ways. First, it literally doubles the width of the data highway with massive 320 MHz channels. Second, it uses a much more complex signal called 4096 QAM to pack 20% more data into every single transmission. You can think about like upgrading from a thick marker to a super fine point pen. You can just fit way more information into the exact same space. But the real game changer here is something called multi-link operation, which lets your device use multiple bands at once, intelligently dodging traffic just like a GPS finds you the fastest route.
And the result of that multi-link operation? A huge reduction in latency. You know, that annoying delay you get in video calls or gaming, down to just 5 to 10 milliseconds. I mean, for the first time, a wireless connection can feel just as stable and responsive as plugging in an old-school Ethernet cable.
But what if the solution isn't to build a better highway, but to just get off the road entirely? Well, say hello to Li-Fi, the optical revolution.
So how does this actually work? It's incredibly clever. Li-Fi uses standard LED bulbs and it turns them on and off millions of times per second, way too fast for our eyes to even notice. A light-sensitive receiver on your device reads this flickering as binary data. An on is a 1 and an off is a 0. It's basically Morse code with light, but at absolutely unbelievable speeds.
And here's why that is such a big deal. The visible light spectrum, the space where Li-Fi operates, is 10,000 times larger than the entire radio frequency spectrum that Wi-Fi and 5G have to share. We're not talking about adding a new lane to the highway here. We're talking about a completely new, wide-open dimension for data. And get this, this is no longer just some science fair project. In 2023, Li-Fi became officially standardized. Now this is huge because it means different companies can now build transmitters and receivers that all work together, which is what paves the way for mass adoption.
Okay, so we've got the peak of radio evolution squaring off against an optical revolution. Let's put them head-to-head on the metrics that really truly matter.
All right, let's break this down. First up, latency. Wi-Fi 7 is fast, sure, but it's variable. Li-Fi is under half a millisecond, and, this is the key word, it's deterministic. That means it's consistently that fast every single time. Next, interference. Wi-Fi is always fighting with other networks. Li-Fi, zero radio interference, simply because light is contained by walls. This also gives it this massive security advantage. You can't hack a Li-Fi network from the parking lot, because if you can't see the light, you can't get the data. So what's the trade-off? Coverage. Wi-Fi's strength is that it goes through walls, while Li-Fi is limited to line of sight, pretty much just within a single room.
And this really gets to the core difference in their philosophy. Wi-Fi 7 is the ultimate master of a crowded, chaotic environment. Li-Fi just sidesteps all that chaos by moving to an entirely new, pristine medium.
And why does that latency difference matter so much? Well, this quote says it all, doesn't it? For immersive tech like virtual and augmented reality, that tiny little delay is everything. It's the key to making a virtual world feel truly real, or making you feel sick.
You know, Li-Fi's lack of radio interference has huge real-world benefits. A study at a hospital in France, Perpignan Hospital, measured electromagnetic field exposure. In the Wi-Fi zone, it was 3 volts per meter. In the Li-Fi zone, it plummeted to 0.3, that's a 90% reduction. This is absolutely critical in places with sensitive equipment, like MRI machines or in neonatal units.
But maybe
just maybe, Li-Fi's most profound advantage isn't about speed or interference at all. It's about creating a future-proof, unhackable network.
So here's the challenge. Something called quantum key distribution, or QKD, can create unhackable encryption keys. Awesome, right? But getting that key onto your phone or laptop is the last mile problem. Radio waves just broadcast out in all directions, which makes them pretty easy to intercept. So how do you solve that?
Well, a German project called Quinsida has the answer. They use a fiber optic cable to bring the quantum key to a special Li-Fi transmitter in the ceiling. That transmitter then beams the key down to a device using a secure, contained beam of light. Because the light is so directional, the key gets delivered safely, with no chance of being intercepted.
The result is what's known as a wireless air gap. Now, in cybersecurity, an air-gapped computer is one that's physically disconnected from all networks to keep it safe. Li-Fi basically achieves that same level of physical security, but wirelessly. It's incredible. So, does all this mean it's the end of Wi-Fi? No, not at all. The future isn't a battle. It's a partnership. We're actually moving towards what's called a heterogeneous network, or a HETnet. In this model, you'd have Wi-Fi 7 acting as the macro layer, giving you that convenient blanket coverage for your whole home or office. But then, for specific areas that need absolute security, zero interference, and that ultra-low latency, Li-Fi provides a micro layer, like a focused spotlight of perfect connectivity right where you need it most.
So we've seen Wi-Fi 7 push radio waves to their absolute limit, while Li-Fi offers this revolutionary alternative using the vast, secure spectrum of light. The key takeaway here really is that the future isn't about one replacing the other, but about them working together. And that leaves us with a final thought. We've always assumed the goal was to find a single, perfect wireless network. But as our needs get more and more specialized, maybe the true future of connectivity isn't finding one winner, but intelligently combining many networks to create something so much greater than the sum of its parts.